Hey friends, and welcome back to the Money Girl podcast. This is Finance Friday, a special edition of Money Girl where I answer your burning money questions. Today we have a great topic. It's an email from Kristen in Dallas, Texas, who says, I listened to your podcast, How Do Trump Accounts Work for Kids? And I have a follow-up question. My husband and I have a son who was born in 2025, and we opened a 529 plan for his education. We've built up the balance on our own and with the help of family members. Can I combine our 529 plan with a Trump account so I can add the additional $1,000 to our existing investments? Thank you so much for your question, Christian, and congratulations on the new addition to your family. You are way ahead of the game by already opening and funding a 529 plan for your newborn son. In this show, I'm going to review whether 529 plans and the upcoming Trump accounts can be combined, and I'll talk about which option is best if you're saving for a child's education. This is episode 991, and I really appreciate you downloading the show. If you're new here, I'm Laura Adams, an award-winning author, money speaker, and founder of The Money Stack. That's my Substack newsletter. You can subscribe for free or support the show as a paid member and get access to my live educational events. I love hearing from you, so if something finance-related is on your mind, go ahead and leave me a voicemail by calling 302-364-0308. Or you can email me your question, just like Kristen did, by using my contact page at lauradadams.com. All right, as Christian mentioned a few weeks ago, I did publish an episode of Money Girl about Trump accounts. They're a new type of account for children established by a provision of the One Big Beautiful Bill. I've received several questions about Trump accounts, particularly how they compare to 529 plans when investing for a child's education. So I'm going to review 4 rules for each of these account types and explain their pros and cons. So first, let's talk about 4 things you should know regarding Trump accounts. Number 1, some children qualify for a $1,000 benefit. Now, since Kristen's son was born recently, she's in a prime position to take advantage of a Trump account. U.S. citizens with a Social Security number born between January 1st, 2025 and December 31st, 2028 are eligible for a $1,000 federal government deposit into a Trump account opened on their behalf. Children born before 2025 are also eligible for a Trump account until the calendar year they turn 18. However, they're not eligible for the $1,000 government benefit. All right, number 2, contributions are limited. Starting in mid-2026, you can contribute up to $5,000 annually to a Trump account. However, just like 529 plan contributions, Trump account contributions are non-deductible, so that means you have to make them on an after-tax basis. Note that most 529 plans have lifetime contribution limits rather than annual caps. And depending on your 529, the aggregate contribution limit could be up to $600,000. So that allows families to save much more than with a Trump account. Number 3, funds are locked until the owner turns 18. So the short answer to Kristen's question is no. You can't roll funds from a 529 plan or any other account into a Trump account, nor can you move funds out of one into a 529. Therefore, Kristen must open a separate Trump account to get that $1,000 benefit for her son. A Trump account owner can't use the funds until January 1st of the year they turn 18. And that means a parent or child can't spend a Trump account on a private school or a college's early enrollment program like you can with a 529 plan. And I'll talk more about a 529 in a moment. And number 4, the account converts to an IRA. Once the owner of a Trump account reaches age 18, the account automatically converts to a traditional IRA in their name, and it's subject to the account's contribution and withdrawal rules. Any new contributions to the account must be based on the IRA owner's earned income. But before that time, when it's just a Trump account, the child does not have to have any earnings to qualify for the $5,000 annual contribution. Distributions of untaxed IRA funds, such as the account earnings and that $1,000 benefit, would be subject to ordinary income taxes plus an additional 10% penalty if the owner is under age 59 and a half. That's called an early withdrawal penalty. However, there's an IRA penalty exception for making withdrawals that you spend on education at accredited public, private, or nonprofit post-secondary institutions that participate in federal student aid programs. Some eligible expenses include tuition, room and board, books, supplies, equipment required for attendance, computers and internet access, and special needs services. While you must pay tax on any portion of education distributions that were not previously taxed, you get to skip the 10% early withdrawal penalty. In addition, other IRA penalty exemptions include withdrawals of up to $10,000 for buying your first home, paying unreimbursed medical bills, and purchasing health insurance during unemployment. All right, now let's talk about 4 rules to know regarding 529 savings plans. First, I recommend that families have both a Trump account and a 529 savings plan. You might consider the Trump account as a general account for a child's future, and the 529 for their education specifically. And I'll talk more about why I believe that's the case as we go through these 4 rules. So number 1 is qualified withdrawals are tax-free. 529 plans are designed for education expenses, and they allow tax-free withdrawals. That means you'll save more than you would with a tax-deferred IRA. For instance, if you invest $10,000 and it grows to $50,000, you can spend the entire $50,000 on qualified education expenses. Every penny of growth in a 529 is tax-free when you spend it on a wide variety of qualified education expenses. With a Trump account, after the owner is 18, you avoid the 10% early withdrawal penalty for college, but you still have to pay taxes on the account's earnings. So that could mean paying 10%, 12%, or more of your savings to the government when you withdraw funds for education from an IRA. Some eligible 529 expenses include tuition, room and board, books, supplies, technology, and special needs services. Number 2, the list of qualified withdrawals has expanded. While a 529 is most commonly associated with college, it now covers a wide range of academic paths no matter a student's age. For example, students can now pursue vocational education, such as trade schools and professional certifications. In addition, you can use up to $10,000 once in your life to help repay federal or private student loans. And starting in 2026, 529 plans allow you to withdraw up to $20,000 per student per year for elementary and secondary school expenses. You can even use 529 funds for tutoring, testing fees, homeschooling supplies, and educational therapies. That gives you much more flexibility than a Trump account, which remains inaccessible until a child turns 18. Number 3, you have more investment options. One limitation of a Trump account is that the contributions can be invested only in broad U.S. equity indexes, such as the S&P 500. Now, that's perfect for long-term growth, but it's a little risky if the funds are intended to cover college expenses in a year or two. In that case, you'd be much better off using a safe vehicle, such as a CD, with a predictable return that can't lose value. With a 529 plan, you have the flexibility to choose investments from a broad menu based on your timeline and risk tolerance. As your child approaches secondary school or college, you can shift investments into more conservative options, such as CDs or bonds, to help protect them. And number 4, you can do a Roth IRA rollover. Given the benefits of a 529, like its tax advantages, flexibility, and high contribution limits, it earns my vote as the best account for saving for a child's education. Now, the main drawback is that if you use a 529 plan for non-qualified expenses, you must pay income tax plus a 10% penalty on withdrawals of account earnings. So you never want to put more in a 529 than you estimate your child will need for their total education expenses. However, I will say if you overfund a 529, there's a new rule that makes it a little bit easier. It allows you to roll over up to $35,000, and that's a lifetime limit, into a Roth IRA owned by the student. It's just like a safety net if your child doesn't use all the 529 funds in their name. However, they would have to have a Roth IRA opened up in their name and have, enough earned income to qualify for the contribution into the account. To sum up, Kristen should definitely open a Trump account to get the free $1,000 for her son. However, if her goal is to continue saving for his education, a 529 plan is the best way to get more investment flexibility and 100% tax-free growth. Some great resources for choosing a 529 plan are savingforcollege.com and the College Savings Plan Network, the CSPN, and I'll put links to these in the show notes. You want to check if your home state offers a tax deduction for using an in-state 529 plan and look at other features like the investment options and the lifetime contribution limits. And to open a Trump account, you submit IRS Form 4547 called Trump Account Elections, or you can visit trumpaccounts.gov to learn more. Again, I'll have links to these resources in the notes for the show. Starting in May 2026, the United States Treasury will send information on how to activate the account and receive the $1,000 benefit. The earliest you can begin making Trump account contributions will be July 4th, 2026. So, we have a little ways to go. But initially, all Trump accounts will be created and held with the Treasury's designated financial agent. But at a later date, they say that parents or guardians can transfer these accounts to their preferred brokerage firm through a direct trustee-to-trustee rollover. Kristen, thank you again so much for the Trump account follow-up question. I hope this helps. And again, I think you're going to benefit from having both of these accounts as you look ahead to your child's future. And again, congratulations on the new addition and being ahead of the financial game. That's all for now. I'll talk to you soon. Until then, here's to living a richer life. Money Girl is a quick and dirty tips podcast, and we've got a great team working on the show. I want to thank Steve Rickyberg, who audio engineers. Holly Hutchins is our director of podcast. Morgan Christensen is our advertising operations specialist. Rebecca Sebastian is our marketing and publicity manager. And Nathaniel Hoops is our marketing contractor.